Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the difference between the Stingray and my Z06. Obviously, I'm in a C8 right now, so one of the things that I experienced when I first stepped into my Stingray, because I used to have a C6 that was pretty modified, probably pushed near 700 horsepower, had some serious torque in that thing. That thing was a monster, and I drove that for a while as my daily, and that thing was incredibly fun. And but it was like a wild horse. It was just the lack of control is what added to the fun factor. But the handling was just insane. Anytime you let on the gas, the rear end would kick out. You'd really have to learn how to stabilize that thing. And after a while, I got real comfortable in driving it and having a blast in it. But when I first got into the Stingray, the C8, I was like, this handling is incredible. I could feel the immediate difference between how the suspension was constructed, to having the mid-engine, to all those things. It was incredible, and the power was just put down pretty immediate. Now, I didn't have the Z51, so I had the standard Stingray, which, hindsight, I don't know why I didn't consider it when I was purchasing the car. I completely forgot about the Z51 package, so I really wish I would have done that. But that being said, I did still notice a significant difference, and it was really noticeable. And I was like, oh man, this car is amazing. And I always missed driving it when I wasn't in it, or I was driving my daily driver. So there's a fun factor to the Stingray for sure. And at one point I was like, you know, with my family, I don't know if I'm going to be driving this car. I considered selling it, but I didn't wind up selling it. I just hung on to it for my love of Corvettes, probably. But so anyway, eventually I wound up swapping it out and getting this Z06, and what an immediate difference. The fun factor is probably 5x on the Z06. It's got multiple personalities. My Stingray really had one personality. It didn't matter what mode you had it in. It just, I mean, the sound was a little different, but it kind of had this, like, this grand tour feeling. Like, this thing is meant to drive for a while, enjoy, all of that. When I got into the Z06, I have it in tour mode. Its first personality, well, its second personality. Its first personality is probably weather mode, or stealth mode, contingent on how you set up on my mode. But in my mode, I put stealth to get out of the neighborhood quietly, all that. But weather mode, it's calm, it's peaceful, the shifting is quick, it doesn't allow you to rev up very high unless you, of course, you give it full throttle for whatever reason. But on a standard tour throttle, it feels a lot like the Stingray did in its tour mode. It just, you can just feel it. So I started off with the car in tour mode, and there immediately you can feel the anger behind this car. It's this hidden, subtle rage that it doesn't like to be in tour mode. It wants to scream. The engine wants to scream, and it's like, why are you only containing me in tour mode? Like right now, even in tour mode, I'm driving down the highway right now in stop and go traffic, and it's like this just let me go feeling. And it's a constant reminder that this car has power, and power that you need to tap into once in a while. And I love that. I love being reminded that I'm not driving some Corolla, no offense to Corolla drivers, and I've forgotten I'm in a car and I'm just in my own thoughts. This car like brings you back to earth quite frequently, and I really enjoy that. So it takes me off the stress of the day. It takes me into a place where I can literally just enjoy being, and I enjoy that even in tour mode. I mean, tour mode lets you know that that power is there. And in my Stingray, I really didn't have a reason to go to track, so I switched to sport a lot. And I liked sport because the faster acceleration and all that, it was fun. I switched to sport here, and I'm like, oh my god, this thing has really allowed me to have some spirited street driving. It's incredible. And I didn't really, despite what other people have shown me in all the videos I've watched, I didn't really feel the need to go to track. And so I was in sport mode, and I was having a blast. And then I was like, I have heard so much about track, and I really didn't need to test track out. And sport was, you know, kind of like, it's like the teenager personality. It's rebellious, it's quick, it's like, look at me, it's like kind of flaunty and showy. Track is like a whole nother level. Track is like a monster. It's like a monster that you've just let loose on the road, and it's putting all that power down onto the ground, and you can feel it. Now, disclaimer is I kept traction control off, and I made sure I had all the electronic assist off so you could really feel the power. And I really, really, really enjoyed the experience of track mode, and it's an incredible machine. There's some disadvantages, I think, to the Z06, if you want to look at them like disadvantages. I think one of the challenges is with this engine, they had a lot of restrictions. They couldn't make it bigger displacement without having more emissions control. They couldn't add in cylinder deactivation, which I don't see as a disadvantage for any of this stuff, but I think some people who are looking for more of a Grand Tour experience, having 8 cylinders with this much power driving in Tour lets you know that it doesn't want to be in here. It doesn't want to be contained in here. It wants to run free. It's kind of like having that bird in the cage all day, and you're like, dude, I think I just need to let you go. That's how this car feels if you plan on just doing tour driving. This car is not for some dude that wants to chill. I think you can chill in this car, but you're reminded that this car is not a chill car. It's aggressive. And I'm not driving the Z07, I'm driving a Z06. I can only imagine how rough the Z07 is compared to this. This is really smooth in the sense of the road feel. It's not so smooth in the sense of that subtle anger that's sitting in tour mode. So it's like driving a different car with the same interior compared to the Stingray. It is a remarkable difference. And there is definitely a noticeable speed difference, a quickness. You can't really tell off the line, but it certainly picks up. And it's unrelenting in a lot of ways, and especially as you build toward the higher RPMs. Your brain, if you've driven American Muscle most of your life, is like, okay, it's gonna shift soon. Wait a second, oh, it's gonna shift soon. And all this happens really, really quick, but your brain is like, okay, it's not shifting. And then you realize, okay, yeah, I'm up to 8,500 and some change RPMs. Now it's time to shift. And you're like, holy crap, that sound just adds a whole nother element. I think that is the main thing about this car that I've enjoyed the most, is just the sound. You're gonna hear it from everybody. The sound is really it's intoxicating. The sound is intoxicating. Speed, you can get anywhere. You can modify a Honda Civic and get more speed than this car ultimately. Yeah, you'd have to add a lot of mods, but you can do it with any car. So if you're looking for a budget car that's fast, I wouldn't say the Z06. You can do a lot with the extra $120,000 in mods into a standard car if you're looking for speed. This car is for truly, I think, people who want a supercar and they want the feel and look and quality, the interior, everything. They want the quality for so much less than you could get what I would consider a fair rival for double or triple the price. I definitely give this car a 10 out of 10 as far as like feel and performance. There are some things that GM didn't really let go of, and I wish they would have. Like, we have these turn signals that are plastic, these turn signal switches. Like, why? I have these carbon fiber magnetic shifters, and then right behind it you have this plastic looking 2000s or even 90s Corvette feeling. And I love those old cars, so don't get me wrong, but when you're paying this much money for a car, it's like, why did you overlook that? I mean, you could have just wrapped it in carbon fiber or something, like made it feel quality. So there's a little bit of that little plastic feel, I would say, as far as the quality of the car, but you get that in the Stingray too. Is it worth choosing a different car? Absolutely not. I'm just nitpicking at this point. I mean, the stitching, the leather quality, the Alcantara, the carbon fiber, all that makes this car feel incredible. It's just little things that I wish weren't here, and I'm going on a tangent now, but all I'm just saying is it's not something that I would split hairs over. This car's performance and feel, the sound, the experience, the comfortability, the street capability compared to, you know, it's a street car made for the track, and I think that's what gives this car so much value, and it's incredible you can get a car like this for this price. All right, so hopefully for those that are considering if you want to upgrade from a Stingray to a Z06, the answer is very simple: do it. If you have the means, do it. You won't regret it. Now, granted, if you can't afford it, you might regret it, but you won't regret it in any other capacity. It is an incredible car. Now, if you're just looking to cruise, stick with the Stingray, or maybe even the E-Ray, which I haven't had the chance to drive yet. The E-Ray strikes me as a cruising car. Same engine as the Stingray, probably feels a little smoother. All-wheel drive a little safer. So if you're looking for like the ultimate Grand Tourer, probably the E-Ray with the performance of close to a Z06. This car is just not meant for that. So if you have the means and you're considering upgrading, go E-Ray. If you like the Stingray experience and you're driving it for that sense of purpose, but if you want to go wild and you want to be reminded that you're a primal human being ready to tap into your deep ancestral tribal feeling and adrenaline, this is the car for you, for sure. And it's definitely my best car experience. I just love this car. So all right, hopefully that helps, and we'll catch you all in the next one.